This week in episode number 41, we're going to talk about delegation and failure. Start it all over again. So this week we're talking about delegation. Now I've had a personal assistant at various different times in my real estate career. Now my assistant helped me with both business and personal things. Now with business things, she actually helped me as a project manager. You may have seen this property we did in Roy where it was a delegation failure, right? Or was it? We're still 4 to 6 weeks from being complete and probably another $20,000. So that's me putting $15,000 over budget. It's just tough being a project manager when you're trying to get something done through somebody else while you're trying to juggle a bunch of other things. And much less when it's your first time doing it. Also around that same time, she was helping me to execute the plan that I had for my wife's 30th birthday party. She did a huge thing for me at my 30th birthday party, so I wanted to do an equally huge thing for her. So my assistant and I brainstormed through the things that I wanted her to do, and I left it to her, or I delegated to her to execute on my ideas.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to do a little love song for you. Don't step up on the switch. You can do whatever, but let me out of the switch.
So having my assistant help with my wife's 30th birthday party was a huge failure looking back on it because she didn't really execute it the way that I would have done it. And my wife wasn't having a good day, and all of it came off kind of cheesy and not great. But that said, I would not have been able to pull off that party without my assistant because I was out of town and there was a lot of moving parts that needed to come together. Now, although those did not get done the way I would have got them done, like hiring that Elvis. Of course, there weren't a lot of Elvises to choose from in Utah. But still, it got done, and we have a memory from that. My wife still laughs about it every time she thinks about it. At the time, she was really bugged by it, but now it's just kind of a funny memory. So here's a key thing to note about failure. Your success in life will be equal to the amount of failure that you're able to take. There's a really good video of Darren Hardy explaining it, and I'm gonna let him explain to you right now.
The key to success is massive failure. Now, don't just hear that as some trite motivational quip. Consider that for a second. Let that marinate on your brain. The key to success is massive failure. Now, the look on my face was like the look on a lot of your faces. So he went on and explained. And he wrote out this little analogy for me. He said, look, life is like a pendulum. And on one side of the pendulum is pain, rejection, sadness, and failure. And on the other side of the pendulum is joy, love, happiness, and success. If you just stand still, you won't experience any pain, rejection, sadness, or failure. But you won't experience any joy, love, happiness, or success either. And he says you can't live under a bridge. Eventually you've got to mill about. So what you end up doing is you end up finding this little comfort zone, right? You're only willing to experience so much pain and rejection and sadness and failure, so you only experience so much success, joy, and happiness. And this ends up becoming a comfort zone that you're not willing to stretch yourself out of. And people wonder why they're not getting greater results. He said, now look, you can't push the pendulum on the side of success. He must have went to a Jim Rohn seminar. What you pursue eludes you. You can't push it on the side of success, but you can push it on the side of failure, on the side of rejection, on the side of defeat, on the side of pain. So your job is to go experience as much pain, rejection, sadness, defeat, and failure as possible. Push the pendulum high and wide on that side of the pendulum. And he says, I promise you, it'll swing back in equilibrium. I push the pendulum wide on the side of pain, failure, rejection. And as he promised, it swung in equilibrium on the other side. As soon as you stop having this resistance or this tentativeness about potentially failing, and that you pursue it and you turn failure into fun instead of fear, it opens up all the floodgates. The only thing stopping you from anything, the only thing from tapping that greater potential that I said all of you have, that you are underperforming to is your reticence around the fear of failing.
Okay, so did you guys all get that? It makes perfect sense, right? If we stay in our little comfort zone of only failing so much, we can only be so happy and have so much success, right? But if we can push the failure, because we control that, if we can push the failure really far to one side, we're gonna get that pendulum swinging equal and opposite to the other side of success and happiness. Now, when my personal assistant failed on that project management, and when she failed in executing exactly what I wanted with my wife's 30th birthday party, they were not truly failures. They were actually just a stepping stone to my success. And since I delegated, I was able to use her failure to gain my future success. So I want you guys to go out there and don't be afraid to fail, and don't be afraid to delegate to others who will fail for you.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
This is by far the most awkward birthday party I've ever had. I'm like, I'm not an Elvis fan anymore.
I hurt the man's feelings. What did he do? He gave her like that?
I don't want to.